BJWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. Now you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of any of the other channels? And that's because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They don't even read any of the other comments. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Take talking about Brock Purdy, and I haven't watched this clip, but I guess Shannon Sharpe and Dan get really heated about it. They get really upset about this, and I think Brock Purdy played really, really good. First off, the question is Brock Purdy good? But Brock Purdy is absolutely good. If you want to make the argument, is he special? I could see that debate. But Brock Purdy, to me, proved that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Do I think he's better than Patrick Mahomes or even on Patrick Mahomes' level? Absolutely not. But that's not a fair comparison at all. It's just not fair for any quarterback, quite honestly. But do I think he is on par and should be considered to be one of the top 10 best quarterbacks? I do. And I think he did not lose that game. He put the 49ers in a position to win that game, no ifs, ands, or buts. And he did not put them in a position to lose that game, no ifs, ands, or buts. He didn't fumble. He didn't throw interceptions. He didn't make terrible throws. He played as good as he could have. And if anything, his team let him down. He wasn't responsible for the Christian McCaffrey fumble. He wasn't responsible for the fumble on the punt return. He wasn't responsible for the missed extra point. He wasn't responsible for the weird taking the ball first and overtime with the coin flip. He wasn't responsible for why they abandoned the run in the second half. That had nothing to do with him. So, this doesn't make sense. So I'm really curious to see what they have to say about this one.
He was 3 points away from making history as the only quarterback drafted as Mr. Irrelevant to win the Super Bowl, unfortunately for Niners fans. The burgeoning GOAT took the crown again. That would be Patrick Mahomes. Purdy played well, but there's no consolation prize in the Super Bowl.
I mean, a lot of guys are quiet. A lot of guys are still quiet right now. Not a lot has been said. It just hurts. We have the team, obviously, to do it, to win the whole thing, and come up short like that. The way things have been the last couple of years here, everyone wanted it so bad. So I think we're still trying to sort of gather, our thoughts and everything right now. But everyone in that locker room loves each other, I'll tell you that.
Ugh, heartbreaking. Shannon, tell me this. Did Purdy prove he's a top quarterback to you yesterday?
I got more questions.
Oh, my gosh.
Because he just said, what did he say, Stephen A? We had the team to win the Super Bowl. Right. You had a 10-point lead. 3 of 12 on third down, 25%. And I told you, Dio, he's going to silence all the critics. All this goes away. I said, Dio, if he doesn't win this game, you'll still have more questions about Brock Purdy. And with that team, no excuses. You had Debo. You had Ayuk. You had C-Mac. You had Trent Williams. You had everything that you needed. Because let me ask you a question. If I put Patrick Mahomes on San Francisco, how many championships do they win, Dio?
Again, I hate that example. That's not fair. Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback in the NFL. So it's a silly question to ask. That's not fair. You can't put you're comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. It's just not fair. 3-time Super Bowl winner. I mean, so they're talking about him being literally the greatest quarterback in the under that logic. Then Joe Burrow is nothing. Josh Allen is nothing. Justin Herbert is nothing. Jalen Hurts is nothing. Dak Prescott is nothing. Peyton Manning is nothing. Andrew Luck is nothing. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on. Matthew Stafford, nothing. Because obviously, if you put Patrick Mahomes on the 49ers, they would be better. That's obvious. If you put Patrick Mahomes on any team, they would be better. So I don't, that argument makes no sense. And Brock Purdy was not why they lost that game.
If I gave him that, don't do this.
Mahomes.
Whoa. With that roster, if I give Josh Allen that roster, if I give Lamar Jackson, if I give Joe Burrow that roster, because that's what you're saying. That's what, no. You're saying he's top. So what's top? Top 10, top 12? Top what? Top what?
He's firmly top 10. Brock Purdy is firmly a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Agree with that.
He's absolutely played himself into top 7 conversation.
I mean, I can rattle off 7, 8 names off the top of my head that I would take instead of him. And
Let's
if I put those guys in that same offense, they would be better than him. That's just me. I think there's still questions about the shouldn't say greatness, but I still have. He didn't silence all, but he had done a great job against Green Bay coming from behind. He did a great job against San Francisco. But Dio, you know how this works.
Against San Francisco?
When you got that roster, you got to close the deal. I still have questions, and I'm sorry if you don't, that he's answered all your questions. He's checked all the boxes, but he hasn't for me.
Let me say this, Dio. You want to chime in, Dio? You want me to go first?
Go ahead, Stephen A. Go ahead. Sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, I thought Purdy did a good job. Was he great? No. Was he Patrick Mahomes? Hell no. But he didn't wet the bed. He didn't choke or anything like that. So I give him credit where credit is due. I thought that he did a good job. Here's to me. I think there's more questions about Kyle Shanahan than there are about Brock Purdy. I'm wondering how the hell could George Kittle have 2 catches for 4 yards? I'm wondering, like you brought up, Shannon, before you almost lost it, because Christian McCaffrey, you running the football half the time as much as you're throwing it, when you got Christian McCaffrey, who was clearly an absolute stud, leading the team in both rushing and receiving yards yesterday. How do you not get this brother the ball significantly more? I'm thinking about that as well. When I look at Purdy, I'm looking at, in fact, 6 of 17 passing, just 35% for 82 yards with no touchdowns when targeting Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. To me, that's just the latest excuse as to why you should have been looking at C-Mac a little bit more. I'm just wondering about that when it comes to Shanahan, not necessarily Purdy. And I'm just looking at it from that, and I'm saying to myself, Purdy did a good job. I didn't think that he was bad at all. I thought that he made some plays. I thought that he got when he did get the ball to C-Mac, obviously good things happened. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. He didn't wet the bed. He wasn't bad at all. It's just that he was not Patrick Mahomes. That's the knock against him. And that's all you could say in this particular game.
He was not Patrick Mahomes is one of the dumbest statements I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah, he is not Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely. Under that same logic, Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady. Was Eli Manning Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady in those moments, in those games? He was not, yet he still won. So that's not the difference between winning and losing.
He was not Patrick Mahomes.
I still have questions, and I think most people would.
You guys, I don't know if I've been more flabbergasted by your guys' feelings. Okay. I'm not acting here. This isn't like, I'm being very genuine here. Oh, first of all, McCaffrey had 30 touches. How many do we want? 40? He had 30 touches.
If necessary. It's the Super Bowl, if necessary.
He had 30 touches.
How many rushes? How many rushes?
22 or 23? Something like that? I mean, he only had 80 yards rushing, Shannon. Kansas City's defense had done a tremendous job of minimizing their success. You talk about third down and the performance by the quarterback on third down. Kansas City's got one of the best third down defenses in football. That's why I told everybody for the 2 weeks, if San Francisco doesn't win first down, they're not going to be that good on offense. Brock Purdy was freaking awesome yesterday. It wasn't that he didn't wet the bed. He was awesome. The questions, what question? So you mean to tell me, Shannon, that you still have questions because he lost to the best player on the planet in the midst of a dynasty on the final play of the game?
He lost to the best player on the planet with the best team on the planet. Yes, that's why I have questions. Because guess what? Don't tell me. What about that third down? Hold on. What about that on 3rd and 5 with 2 minutes left in the ball game in the 4th quarter? And he missed that throw. He missed the earlier throw to Deebo in the end zone. Remember, I said
that's because of Chris Jones. That's because of Chris Jones was on his neck. He's on his neck.
How many times have we seen quarterbacks look down the gun barrel and make that throw? You got to make that throw in that moment if you want.
And Brock Purdy has done that in the past. He just can't do it every single time, just like Patrick Mahomes can't do it every single time. Brock Purdy has proven to be able to make those throws. He did it in the Super Bowl. He did it against the Packers, and he did it against the Detroit Lions. And so just because he wasn't able to do it in that exact moment doesn't mean that he's unable to do it. Not even Patrick Mahomes can do it every single time. But what makes Patrick Mahomes extra special is that he can do it at a higher percentage than any other quarterback right now. That's what makes him extra special.
To be that guy.
Shannon, you know this. I mean, he's got one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in football on his neck. That's what happens. Chris Jones saved
What do you want him to do
touchdowns
there?
yesterday. It can't just be the quarterback didn't play well. You have to give some credit to the defense, Shannon. Come on.
Whoa. Now we crediting the defense. Now so that's what we do it. So let me ask you a question. On third down, what is the 49ers defense rank? Because you make it seem like that that Patrick was going against air.
No, the 49ers defense on third down was not a good defense. They weren't statistically high at all this year. Brock Purdy's QBR in that game was a 70 yesterday. Lamar, who is the MVP of the NFL. Josh Allen, who is unquestionably a top 3 quarterback. In Tua, their QBR this year in the playoffs against that defense was 43. Brock's was 70. Okay? Those 3 guys versus pressure in these playoffs, Lamar, Josh Allen, and Tua, versus that defense when they blitz, their QBR was a 6. Brock's was a 75. There's no way.
I'm about to call you Ocho, Dio. Dio, it's about moments. And I told you, I said he's going to. If you go back and look at the games in which Patrick Mahomes has lost in the playoffs,
yes, sir.
With the exception of the AFC Championship game his first time, the quarterbacks have outplayed him. Sure. Joe Burrow outplayed him in the AFC Championship game when he went to Arrowhead and he beat him. Tom Brady outplayed him in the Super Bowl. If you're going to rely on your auxiliary pieces, if you think your defense is going to beat that guy, your quarterback, and I know they're not on the field at the same time, but you got to outplay him. You got to beat him.
Okay. Let's dismantle this because this makes 0 sense. He just admitted that Joe Burrow and Tom Brady outplayed Patrick Mahomes in those games, and that's why, the Chiefs lost those games. Okay. Let's just say that that's 100% true. If that's 100% true, did Shannon Sharpe have questions about Patrick Mahomes then? Did he question the greatness of Patrick Mahomes or his ability to get the job done? I don't think so. If you wanted to say Patrick Mahomes wasn't good enough in those games and didn't get the job done, that's fine, right? You can say that. You can admit that. But you didn't question whether he had the ability or the capability to do it. You didn't question it. Maybe in the very beginning, right, when the first time he lost against Tom Brady, then I could maybe understand that. But some of those losses he had already proven he's already a champ, already an MVP. So you can't say that. So that doesn't make sense. That doesn't really make sense. And a lot of people don't blame Patrick Mahomes for the Super Bowl loss. They blame the offensive line. So then why does Brock... In fact, I don't even want to say some people. Majority of people do not blame Patrick Mahomes. They don't just say, oh, Tom Brady outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and that's why they lost. No, they blame the offensive line. That's what they straight up said. They blamed the offensive line. That is just the prevailing conclusion of that game. So then with this, why does Brock Purdy not get the same grace in that regard? He did not fumble. Christian McCaffrey did. He did not fumble the punt return who hit whoever's leg that was. Patrick Mahomes got that short field like right there, pretty much a guaranteed touchdown. Brock Purdy wasn't offered that. The missed extra point. Brock Purdy had nothing to do with that missed extra point. He had nothing to do with the coin flip and taking the ball first fiasco. He had nothing to do with that. He had nothing to do with why they abandoned the run from Christian McCaffrey. Yes, I understand Christian McCaffrey got the ball a lot, and they were feeding him and relying on him. No doubt about that. But lots of other teams do that. And why wasn't there then any designed runs for Brock Purdy? Like the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. Although a brilliant fourth down, I think, again, fourth down or third down. That was on Shanahan. That was on Shanahan and on the other players. So Brock Purdy is not why they lost. If you want to blame Brock Purdy for not being able to overcome those things, which is a tough task for pretty much every single quarterback under the sun, except for maybe a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes. But then that's fine. If you want to say Brock Purdy was not good enough to overcome, you know, the fumbles and the missed extra points, he wasn't good enough to do that. That's fine. That's technically true. But we know the Kansas City Chiefs defense is amazing and great. And as Dio pointed out, he did better with the rate, than the Ravens did, and did better than the Bills did. And so again, you can make the argument though, well, they, technically the 49ers have a better team, and if you put Lamar on the 49ers and you play that whole game, and I get that, and I think that's fine. But again, that's just not the whole truth. Brock Purdy, at the end of the day, put the 49ers in a position to win the game, and they did not get the job done. Was Brock Purdy able to win the game for the 49ers? No, he was not. But the truth is many quarterbacks are not able to do that. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are in leagues of their own. That's why they are having the debates for the GOAT, and not Joe Burrow, not Josh Allen, not Peyton Manning, not Andrew Rodgers. These are two very, very special players. And that's just the way it goes. But what do you all think? Do you think what Shannon Sharpe is saying is correct? That there's all these questions now around Brock Purdy, that it's Brock Purdy's fault, that he should have been able to make these big plays? Or do you believe what Dio's saying about how Brock Purdy has proven to be top 7, top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Or do you agree with none other than Stephen A. Smith, where the questions are actually more about Shanahan more than anything? Let me know in the comments below. Would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this one. So please let me know. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.